Hello friends, today we will discuss regarding singularities of a function. Singularities of a function and what types of singularities are there. Okay, so let us start with definition of what is meant by singular point and what is meant by regular point. Okay, a point z equal to a is said to be a singular point for a complex valued function f if f is analytic at a. So if a function is analytic at point A, then A is called regular point. And if a function is not analytic at A, then A is called singular point. So this is the type of singularity, regular and singular. We know that what is meant by analytic function. Analytic means differentiable at a point and in the neighborhood of that point. It's called analytic function. Okay, differentiable at a point as well as in the neighborhood of that point. Okay, it's called analytic function. So what about regular point? A point is said to be regular. So the point is said to be singular point if f is not analytic at point A. It is not analytic at A, but every neighborhood of A contains at least one point at which f is analytic. Not analytic at that point, but every neighborhood of A contains at least one point at which f is analytic. At which f is analytic. Suppose this is the point. Function is not analytic at A, but if we take a neighborhood of A, then every neighborhood of A contains at least one point at which function is analytic. Contains at least one point, not all, not f is analytic other than A. I am saying not analytic other than A, but we are saying there exists a neighborhood of A in which f is analytic at least one point of A. So every neighborhood of A must contain at least one regular point of f, then that point is called singularity or singular point of function. It will not analytic at that point, but nearby that point, function should be analytic at least one point. Function should be analytic at least one point. Okay. A singular point A is said to be an isolated singular point or an isolated singularity of f if f is analytic in some deleted neighborhood of A. Now see what is the difference between this singularity and isolated singularity. Singular point of A is said to be an isolated singular point. Isolated means what? Only one. That is different. Or an isolated singularity if f is analytic in some deleted neighborhood of A. In some deleted neighborhood means what? At every point in the neighborhood of A except A. If a function is analytic in every point which is in the neighborhood of A except A, then this A is called as isolated. Means if we remove this point, then function becomes singular. So that is isolated. And what is the difference here? There is every neighborhood of A contains at least one point at which function is regular or at which function is analytic. At which function is analytic. And here every neighborhood of A having all points, deleted neighborhood of A are all points at which function is analytic. Okay, here at least one point and there exist all points except A which are at which function is analytic. It is called isolated singular point or isolated singularity. Then a singular point is said to be a non-isolated singular point or a non-isolated singularity if and only if every deleted neighborhood of A contains at least one singularity of f. Now see the how cases are there. Number one regular. Then if it is not regular, singular. We have two parts of singular again. One isolated, then non-isolated. Isolated means a function is singular at z equal to a, but it is analytic at every point in the deleted neighborhood of a. And what is non-isolated singularity? Z equal to a is a non-isolated singularity. Non-isolated means what? It is not singular, it is not analytic at a, function is not analytic at a, and one more thing is there, for every neighborhood of a, there exists at least one point at which function is not analytic. Singularity means what? For every neighborhood of a, there exists at least one point at which function is analytic, that is called singular point. And for every neighborhood of a, if there is at least one point at which function is not analytic, it is called non-isolated singularity. And isolated means what? Only at that point function is not analytic. Other than that point, the function is analytic in the neighborhood of a. Okay, that is the case. Now see here. So these are the two diagrams of non-isolated singularity. And this one is the isolated singularity. Now, suppose this is the domain D, and we have at A3 function is not analytic. So A3 is the singularity. But if I take this a deleted neighborhood of A, then the function is analytic everywhere. It is it. Similarly, A2 is isolated because this neighborhood n of A2, it is analytic, and n of A1, in the n of A1 the function is analytic. So these are called isolated singularities. And what about non-isolated singularity? Suppose this is origin, right? And at this point, at this whole region, the function is not analytic. Okay. Now at O, if I take any neighborhood, then there exists at least one point at which function is not analytic for every neighborhood. Therefore, it is called non-isolated. Similarly, here also, non-isolated singularity at A. Such a function is of log z. We know that log z is not possible in negative real axis. Therefore, in every neighborhood, there is at least one point in negative real axis. Therefore, this function log z has a non-isolated singularity at z equal to 0. What about here? Suppose A is a singularity, and if I take a neighborhood of A, then this point, you are taking this point at which function is not analytic. So for every, if I take every neighborhood of A and there exists at least one point at which function is not analytic, then such singularity is called non-isolated. Similarly, I take second, then there are AN, A2, A5, all these are the singular points, A1, A2, infinite number of singular points are there, and this is n of A there. So every neighborhood of A contains at least one point or at least one singularity, and therefore such kind of singularity is called non-isolated singularity. Okay. For example, we take f of z equal to 1 by z. F of z equal to 1 by z has an isolated singular point at z equal to 0. Why? If I take 1 by z, then this function is not analytic only at z equal to 0. Other than z equal to 0, the function is analytic at every point because it is differentiable and this function is defined. If it is 0.1, 0.01 or etc., it is like this. Okay. While the function 1 upon sine of pi z has non-isolated singularity at every integer point n belongs to z. I take 1 upon sine pi z. 1 upon sine pi z. Okay. 1 upon sine pi z has non-isolated singularity at every integer point n. How? Now what about 1 upon sine pi z? Okay. That means, for example, I will consider 1 upon sine z. Now, 1 upon sine 2z. Sorry, 1 upon sine pi, sine 2 pi, sine 3 pi, and so on. So this point, sine pi z is 0 for every n belongs to z, isn't it? Sine pi z is 0 for every n belongs to z. Therefore, n is the singularity. Okay, z equal to n. Z equal to integer. Every integer is a singularity of this function, because at every integer this function is not well defined, that is not analytic. Now singularity means whether it is isolated singularity or not isolated singularity. So if I consider sine pi, then and we take a neighborhood of pi, a neighborhood of 1 pi, and it will be like this. So if I take a neighborhood of 1 pi, that is from 1 to 2 here, then at 0, 0 is the point. If I take z is equal to 0, what will happen? If I take z equal to 0, then what will happen? Every neighborhood of 0 at z equal to 0, this is also not analytic. Means z equal to 0 is the singular point. If I take any neighborhood of z equal to 0, then we get at least pi, means pi to minus pi to plus pi. So in this neighborhood, at pi, it is also not analytic, at minus pi, it is also not analytic. So there are, for every neighborhood of that every integer, right, there exists one more singularity, and therefore the integer is the, sorry, what we are saying, while the function 1 upon sine pi z has a isolated, non-isolated, not isolated singularity at every integer point n. That means what? If I take n is a natural number 1, 1 का क्या करेंगे हम? I will take like this. We know that this is origin. I will take, this is 1 pi minus pi, then 2 pi, then 2 pi minus 2 pi, and so on. So 1, 0 is the singularity. We can make a neighborhood of 0, but in this neighborhood now, this sine pi z is having some number that is well defined, which is not equal to 0, because it will be 0 at pi and minus pi only. So there exists a neighborhood at which function is analytic except at z equal to 0, and therefore such is called isolated. Similarly, if I consider pi, then we can take such type of neighborhood. So except pi, the function becomes analytic. The function becomes analytic. So 1 by z has an isolated singularity at z equal to 0. 1 upon sine pi by z also has an isolated singularity at z equal to n pi, at z equal to n. Okay. Every point on the negative real axis is non-isolated singularity of log z, the principal branch of logarithmic function. Every point on the negative real axis is non-isolated singularity, because on negative real axis the function is not defined. Function is not defined, and so every point has a neighborhood again at negative. Suppose this is negative real axis, and we have to take minus 1 as the point. Log of minus 1 is not defined. Not only that, if I take any neighborhood of log of minus 1, and that also, this is not defined. On that also this is not defined, and therefore it is called non-isolated singularity. Z equal to 0 is called non-isolated singularity of function log z. Note that The singularity of a function f depends upon the domain of function f. What type of domain you are taking. For log z, suppose we have taken domain as z means x greater than 0 on positive x-axis. It is also always defined. And if we take domain as negative x-axis also, it is not defined. So it depends on analyticity or singularity depends on the domain. For example, 1 upon z square on C derived from except 0 has an isolated singularity at z equal to 0. Whereas f of z on C, if I derive it from a delta is what? It's a disk having center at 0. So for this function, if we consider a domain set as except from this, except from this, then for every point and in its neighborhood, the function is well defined, that is differentiable and therefore analytic. So this function does not have a singularity in this domain but has a singularity in this domain, because in this only we are deriving 0. So in the neighborhood of 0, this function is not analytic, that is at 0 it is not analytic. So for that point, this point has a neighborhood, will be a 0 point in that neighborhood, therefore 1 by z square has an isolated singularity at z equal to 0, whereas in this it does not have isolated singularity at z equal to 0. Now entire functions have no singular points but can have zeros. So entire function means what? Analytic everywhere. So analytic everywhere function, that is there is no question not analytic at some point, and therefore such type of entire function has no singular points, but they can have zeros also. For example, z raised to n into e to the power z. Z raised to n into e to the power z is analytic, as well as z raised to n is analytic at every point, and therefore this is the entire function. And so this has a 0 at z equal to 0. At z equal to 0. Because if I put z equal to 0, then this. So has a 0 at z equal to 0, and it is entire functions. So entire functions has no singular points but have zeros. Okay. So but general functions may have zeros, may not have zeros, may have singular points, may not have singular points. Rational functions p of z upon q of z, where pz, qz are polynomials, have isolated singularity at points where qz is equal to 0. So the points at which this denominator is 0 is singular point of this whole function, because at that point function will not be defined, and if it is not defined, it is not analytic. For example, 1 upon z square minus 3z has isolated singularity as z equal to 0 and z equal to 3. How this function is 1 upon z square minus 3z, that is 1 upon z into z minus 3. And we know that this function is not defined at z equal to 0, that is not analytic at z equal to 0, therefore it has singularity at z equal to 0. Similarly at z equal to 3, it is not analytic, therefore it has singularity at z equal to 3. But except from 0, there is a neighborhood of 0, for example, minus 1 to plus 1, or minus 2 to plus 2, or minus 2.9 to plus 2.9, at which this whole function is well defined, that is analytic. So these are the, so z equal to 0 and z equal to 3 similarly are isolated singularities only, because except these 2 points, there exists a deleted neighborhood of these 2 points at which function becomes analytic, okay. Now what are the singular points of each of the functions? Z bar, imaginary part of z, real part of z, z times imaginary part of z, z times real part of z, mod of z square. Each of the function given is nowhere analytic. This doesn't mean every point in C is a singular point. Now z bar is nowhere analytic, you have proved it, because CR equation does not satisfy it. Okay, so z bar is nowhere analytic means it is x minus iy. Z bar equal to x minus iy if z equal to x plus iy. As it is nowhere analytic, this doesn't mean every point is the singular point. This doesn't mean every point is singular point. Moreover, there is no neighborhood about any point of C which contains a point at which the function is analytic. There is no neighborhood about any point of C which contains a point at which function is analytic. There is no point at which function is analytic, isn't it? And this doesn't mean every point is point of singularity. Therefore, none of the function given has singularity in C. So at which point it is not analytic, we can't say. But it is not analytic everywhere, isn't it? But point also not said. Therefore, singular point, this function don't have singular points. For example, z bar equal to x minus iy. Ux is 1, vy is minus 1, CR equations not satisfied. Therefore, function is not analytic. But we cannot find a point at which function is not analytic. Hence, we don't have a singularity for this. Every point is not singularity. Every point is not singular point of this, though this function is not analytic at any point. It is nowhere analytic. But then also we cannot find the point at which function is not singular, and therefore this function has no singular points. Imaginary part of z is minus iy, and therefore ux, uy, vx, vy is like this. CR equations not satisfied, nowhere analytic, hence nowhere analytic. But we can't find the point at which function is not analytic. So all these things are there. Now, discuss the singularity of gz, which is equal to 1 upon sine 1 by z. Now we need to find the point at which gz is not defined. That means the point at which sine 1 by z is not defined. So sine 1 by z is 0, not defined, not, but where sine 1 by z is 0. Where sine 1 by z is 0 now? If 1 by z is equal to n pi, that is z is equal to 1 upon n pi. So there are number of points, zn equal to 1 upon n pi. Zn equal to 1 upon n pi. At 0 also this function is not defined. Sine of infinity, again this will not be defined. Thus, gz has isolated singularity at zn equal to 1 upon n pi. Means if I take z1 equal to 1 upon pi. So if I take at pi, at z equal to pi, at z equal to pi, at z equal to 1 upon pi. So sine 1 by z becomes sine pi becomes 0, 1 by 0 is infinity, so not analytic at that point. But if I exclude this pi and take a deleted neighborhood of pi, then this is defined. Sine 1 by z is non-zero and it is defined, and therefore we can say that has isolated singularity as zn, which is equal to 1 upon n pi. Also, f has non-isolated singularity at the limit point z equal to 0. But if I take z equal to 0, then this is not defined, and therefore function is not analytic. Therefore, the function is not analytic. But its singularity is what? Non-isolated singularity at point z equal to 0. Non-isolated singularity at z equal to 0. Why not isolated singularity? So if I take now any neighborhood of 0, 1 upon smallest number means that goes to infinite numbers. And infinite number means what? If I take z equal to 0 and it's a 0.5 minus 0.52 plus 0.5. 1 upon 0.5 means what? 1 upon 0.5 means what? It will get 10 by 5, right? Which is equal to 2. So neighborhood of 1 by z becomes 2, minus 2 to plus 2. And between minus 2 to plus 2, there are so many points at which sign of that point is 0. Sign of that point is 0. And therefore, z equal to 0 is non-isolated singularity. Non-isolated singularity. So z equal to 0 is non-isolated singularity for this gz, while all other z equal to 1 upon n pi are isolated singularities. Similarly, if I have 0.1 upon cos 1 by z function, then this function has cos 1 upon z has a zeros at z is equal to odd multiples of pi by 2. We know that because z pi by 2 is 0, cos pi by 2 is 0, cos 3 pi by 2 is 0, cos 5 pi by 2 is 0, cos 7, that is odd multiples. So 1 by z should be 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 for n belongs to z. That is at z is equal to 2 upon 2n plus 1 pi. Z equal to 2 upon, you reverse this, 2 upon 2n plus 1 into pi. That is at zn equal to 2 upon 2n plus 1 into pi. So if I take n is equal to 1, then z1 becomes 2 upon 2 plus 1, 3 pi. At this point, function is not analytic. So these are the isolated singularities. 2 upon 2 pi, 3 pi, 2 upon 5 pi, 2 upon 7 pi. These are the isolated singularities. Also, every neighborhood n of z equal to 0 contains singular point different from z equal to 0. Same way. If I take any neighborhood of z equal to 0, then 1 by that neighborhood means cos of that 1 by z has, then 1 by z has so many points which are greater than that pi by 2 and here also. And if I take greater than pi by 2 period, then at that point cos of this function will not be defined, and therefore phi z has isolated singularities at zn equal to 2 upon 2n plus pi. n belongs to natural numbers, but this has non-isolated singularity at z equal to 0. Non-isolated singularity at z equal to 0. You take any neighborhood of this. How can you get that? Z equal to, for z equal to 0, suppose I have a deleted neighborhood of n of 0 as deleted neighborhood. How we have to take n of 0 as minus 0.01 to plus 0.01, except from 0. You are deleting 0 from here. So 1 upon that whole neighborhood becomes 1 upon 0.01. That becomes what? 100. So 1 by z becomes 100. 1 by z becomes a neighborhood of minus 100 to plus 100. So in this case, there are so many points whose value becomes pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2 or 5 by 2, at which function is not analytic. So for every neighborhood, there exist more singularities other than z equal to 0, and therefore z equal to 0 is non-isolated singularity. Now we'll go for immovable singularity. Isolated singularity, non-isolated singularity. Then we'll go for removable singularities. An isolated singularity z equal to a of f is said to be a removable singularity of f if limit of that function exists in C. The function is not defined at z equal to a, but limit as z tends to a of f z exists. Means it is not differentiable at a, but limit of that function as z tends to a exists. Such type of function is called removable singularity. Why we may call it as removable? Because we can remove the singularity. We can remove the singularity there. That may happen. Okay. Also, an isolated singularity z0 of f is called removable, or that f has removable singularity at z0 if f can be defined at z0 so that it becomes analytic at z0. For example, let f of z equal to sin z upon z for z not equal to 0. So for z not equal to 0, this is defined. That means at z equal to 0, this function is not defined. Therefore, the function is not analytic at z equal to 0. Not analytic at z equal to 0. So here fz is analytic in C except from point 0. Moreover, limit as z tends to 0 of f of z equal to limit as z tends to 0 sin z upon z. We know that it is 1. So limit exists, isn't it? Limit exists for this function, but it is not defined for z equal to 0, and limit exists for z tends to 0. Therefore, z equal to 0 is the removable singularity of this function. How you can remove this removable singularity? By redefining this function as sine z upon z for z not equal to 0, and it is equal to 1 for z equal to 0. So if I redefine this function in this way, then the function is now analytic at z equal to 0. Then the function is analytic at z equal to 0. And therefore, what we are saying, so f of 0 equal to 1 we are taking, such that an entire function capital Fz such that f of 0 equal to 1 and small capital F of z is equal to small f of z for z is not different from 0. So such type of singularity is called removable singularity, means we can remove the singularity. Thus, f of z has a removable singularity at z equal to 0. This singularity can be removed by defining f of z as sine z upon z for z other than 0, and it is 1 for z equal to 0. So that fz becomes analytic everywhere. We have some more examples. f1z equal to sine z for z not equal to 1. f2z equal to z upon e to the power z minus 1 for z not equal to 0. f3z again equal to this e to the power z minus 1 upon z whole square, z not equal to 0. So f1z has a removable singularity at z equal to 1. Because at z equal to 1 we are not given what is the function. We will redefine this function as f1z equal to sine z for z not equal to 1 and f1 at 1 equal to sine 1. So that now limit becomes value, that is function becomes continuous at 1 also. We can find its a derivative cos z, right, for z not equal to 1, and this is for 0 for z equal to 1, and therefore it is analytic. Similarly f2z at z equal to 0 it is not defined, but if I find, okay, if I find limit of this function, what is the limit of this function? Limit of f to z at z equal z tends to 0, limit as z tends to 0 of z upon e to the power z minus 1. This is 0 by 0 form, which is same as limit as z tends to 0, taking derivative of numerator 1 and derivative of numerator e to the power z. Now by taking z tends to 0, this will get 1. So we will redefine f2 of 0 is equal to 1. Then this function becomes analytic at z equal to 0 also. So by redefining f2 of z as 1, right? f2 of 0 as 1, f3 of 0 as 1, f4 at 0 as 1, f5 at 0 as 1, because each of this limit as z tends to 0 is 1. Limit of this function as z tends to 0 is 1. Limit of this function as z tends to 0 is 1, as well as limit of this function as z tends to 0 is 1. Everywhere you use either, this is straightforward, e to the power z minus 1 upon z whole square. So this has again formula there. You can find it, it's a function 2 times e to the power 0 by 0 form, you can get 0 by 0 form. Similarly, here also you can find it. E to the power z minus 1 upon z has a 1 square limit. Here also 0 by 0 form you can go for that. Okay. Here also 0 by 0. That is take derivative. L'Hospital rule. L'Hospital rule. What that rule says that if we have 0 by 0, then take derivative of numerator and derivative of denominator to find the limit of the function. So that is here. If f is analytic on an open set D and z0 is in D, then the function capital F defined by capital Fz equal to small fz minus f of z0 upon z minus z0 for z belongs to D derived from z0 is analytic on D derived from z0 and limit as z tends to z0, capital F of z is equal to small f dash at z0. Thus f has a removable singularity at z0, which can be removed by letting f of z0 as small f dash at z0, right? In the same way as in the previous. So if it, what is the limit of this function? This is not defined for z equal to z0. So what point we have to consider? Limit as z tends to z0 of this capital F of z equal to limit as z tends to z0 of small fz minus fz0 upon z minus z0, and we know that this is f dash at z0. So if we redefine this function as f dash at z0, this function means what? F of z0 as f dash at z0, then this whole function becomes analytic. Whole function becomes analytic. One more example is there. Let f be defined by f of z equal to z square plus a square upon z plus I, where z is not equal to minus I. Clearly, f is analytic in C except from minus I. At all other points, this is well defined and this is differentiable also, so that it is analytic also. Now for z is not equal to minus I, f of z can be written as, now z square plus a square can be written as z plus I into z minus I divided by z plus I. Now if z is not strictly equal to minus I, then this z plus I cancels with z plus I, so we get z minus I, and therefore limit at z tends to minus I of f of z becomes limit at z tends to minus I of z minus I, that is minus 2I. So if I define this by f of minus I is equal to minus 2I, then this function becomes analytic at z equal to minus I. And so the removability is removed, singularity is removed. Thus f has a removable singularity at z equal to minus I. Okay. So if we set gz as z square plus a square upon z plus I for z not equal to minus I, and it is minus 2I for z equal to minus I, then we say that this gz has removable singularity at z equal to minus IA. That in, because why? Because gz becomes analytic everywhere in C. Gz becomes analytic everywhere in C. So this is about what? Singularity means regular point means what? A is said to be regular point of fz if the function is analytic at z equal to A. A is said to be singular point of fz means the function is not analytic at z equal to A. Singularity has again isolated singularity, non-isolated singularity. Isolated and non-isolated. Isolated singularity means the function is not analytic at A, but except A, in every neighborhood of A, the function is analytic. And not analytic means what? Non-isolated means what? The function is not analytic at A. Not only that, in the neighborhood of A also, there are some other singularities. There are some other singularities of f of z. Therefore, they are called non-isolated and isolated. Isolated singularity is said to be removable. Isolated singularity is said to be removable if when the function at z equal to A, if limit as z tends to A of f of z exists. And we can remove this singularity by redefining this function f of A equal to this limit, f of A equal to this limit. So these are the kinds of singularities of a function, okay, and remaining part will go in next. Okay, we will stop here.